Phil Spencer has been CEO for 10 years, and while some have written about his shortcomings, I think his influence on the brand and the industry as a whole has been incredibly important. I don't always agree with him. I do think Xbox could do better, but I think the recent discourse that he's failed is short-sighted and a bit uninformed. So let's talk about what Xbox has managed to do in the last decade with Phil Spencer at the helm. So if we go way back to the beginning, 2014, Phil Spencer takes over. In March of 2014, Phil Spencer took over as the head of Xbox and had a rocky road ahead of him. He had to tend with the mess Don Mattrick put in front of him, which was the muddled launch of the Xbox One. The Xbox team needed to refocus and course correct. They did so in a few ways by unbundling the Kinect to start and lowering the price of the console. This is an extremely important time for Xbox because it's also when Xbox almost died. I made one of the first videos I made on this channel about the topic. Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella had a very serious conversation about Xbox continuing, and the decision was made. Spencer took over and began what has now been 10 years of important decisions for the brand, for better, for worse. But for better or worse, we have had an Xbox brand to love, or for some to hate, because Phil Spencer accepted this task. Let's talk about what he's accomplished since this initial important year. 2015 was the backwards compatibility commitment. Not only has Xbox worked to ensure that as many games as possible are retained as backwards compatible, but they also worked to make sure that they looked better with each hardware upgrade. And they went a step further to go as far back as their original Xbox console and ensure a lot of the classics have adequate support. Many of my favorite games using the original Xbox disc or a digital version can still be played today on my Xbox Series X or S with updated visuals like HDR, HD textures, and improved loading times. And it's likely that will remain true for any future hardware that Xbox sells, including the next console currently being teased by Sarah Bond. No one else did this, and while Nintendo is happy to charge you a subscription fee to play their old games, Xbox recommitted to this recently and in 2020 prior to the launch of the Xbox Series X and S. To this day, I don't think anyone has committed to an initiative like this and stuck with it the way Xbox has. Now in 2016, Xbox buys Gears of War. The purchase of Gears of War franchise brought with it a lot more than just the franchise. You know what you don't need to buy though? A subscription. And you should hit that subscribe button, hit that bell right now to know when my content goes live, or hit that like button if you like my content. That purchase of the Coalition though, it brought an entire team of masters who knew how to push the power of the Unreal Engine to its limits. Engineers from the Coalition have helped with the Matrix demo. They've helped make the Unreal Engine better while building their Cavern demo. And that knowledge being shared has meant better games for anyone playing a game made in Unreal. For the Gears of War franchise, we've seen Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Gears 4, Gears 5, Gears Tactics, and the Coalition has helped improve Halo Infinite, while being in active development of at least one new project we're all hoping is Gears 6. While Microsoft has had many acquisitions, this is one that I think gets far less credit than it deserves because of the overall impact it has had for the betterment of the industry. The Xbox One S and X were released around 2016 and 2017. The Xbox One X was a significant turning point for Xbox, in my opinion. It proved that under Spencer's leadership, the Xbox team would invest in hardware and create different options for players. The Xbox One S, released in 2016, offered a much smaller version of the Xbox One in white, but the Xbox One X offered a much more powerful machine than the Xbox One, and more importantly, kicked off their backwards compatibility initiative. It also had features like super sampling, came in a smaller size as the Xbox One S, and was a compelling option for gamers looking for an Xbox more focused on games over TV. It was a return to form for the brand. In 2017, Xbox Game Pass
the new subscription service that offers unlimited download and play of over 100 great Xbox One and Xbox 360 backward compatible games.
It's impossible to argue against the value that Xbox Game Pass offers in terms of access. You get a lot of great games to choose from, including any title made by Xbox on day one, and if you choose to purchase a game, you do get a discount should you use the service. The base model of Game Pass replaced Xbox Live and Games with Gold to instead offer a selection of 25 games to play, including titles like Gears 5, Psychonauts 2, and Fallout 4. And while that's nice, the real value is in Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which gives you the option of streaming or playing nearly 500 games anytime you choose. The last report indicate the service currently has 37 million subscribers. In 2020 was the Xbox Series X and S launch. Xbox launched the Xbox Series X and S with promises of a new Halo Infinite that would be delayed, and many were left feeling strung along. There was a lot of praise for Xbox Game Pass, the backwards compatibility features that continued to evolve, but it wasn't until late 2021 that games like Microsoft Flight Simulator, Forza Horizon 5, and Halo Infinite would come to the console. And 2022 would become a notably problematic year for the company, with internal emails leaked during the FTC trials that showcased a stern Spencer telling his leadership team to come up with a plan to ensure it never saw a year that sparse ever happening again. Hi-Fi Rush would kick off 2023 with a bang, and later in 2023, Xbox would see games like Starfield launch to mostly critical acclaim, and longtime racing fans finally got Forza Motorsport. And those notable releases were paired with some smart Xbox Game Pass Day 1 deals like Liza P that had everyone talking. 2024 seems set up with success, with Indiana Jones, Hellblade 2, Avowed, and Stalker 2 all notably coming to Xbox this year. The long-held criticism of the Xbox brand was that it just couldn't get their releases in order, and it would seem that 2024 could finally be the year Xbox solves that problem, hopefully once and for all. It feels like it needs to be. The focus for many seemed to be on this console business for Spencer, but while the Xbox Series X seems to be doing everything you'd want and then some, the Xbox Series S has been the best seller by far. The dual console strategy has been the most scrutinized of all of Spencer's decisions, and that's without mentioning the bigger purchases. They bought Bethesda in 2021. That purchase sent waves in the video game industry, leaving many to wonder what would be next for the brand, giving many hope that this meant more Xbox games that would launch exclusively on the system, which history would prove true. In 2023, Xbox bought Activision. For me, Xbox buying Activision still seems like a smart business move that will, in the long run, create a better work environment for the employees who are at the company, and hopefully a lot of interesting things will happen with that deal, but time's going to tell on that one. 2024, Xbox goes multi-platform. The most controversial move that Spencer has ever made was to release their games on competing platforms. This is one that has seemed like a step too far for many when you look back at their strategies implemented. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, right? If you look at what's happening right now with Spencer and where everything is at, I think there's been a lot of good that he has done. There's an obvious argument to be made that the Xbox needs more spectacular exclusives in the Xbox ecosystem, but even in the last 3 years and 3 months that the Xbox Series X has been out, we've seen some notable entries. The Gears 5 enhancements were clearly a test to see what the Xbox Series X and S could do and serve as an amazing technical showcase. They leveraged this knowledge to bring Gears 5 Hivebusters, which was acclaimed by people who played it. Forza Horizon 5 was an amazing game. Flight Simulator, amazing technical showcase with the Azure Cloud Tech, and the most recent version seems to be improving in the game department as they add more modes. Halo Infinite has held, on Steam alone, an average of 4,000 concurrents since launch and remained one of the top played games on console. Starfield, say what you will about Starfield, but for the most part, it was widely celebrated and lauded at launch. Is it perfect? No, but Bethesda launched their first new IP in over 25 years from the company as an exclusive for Xbox, with their take on Indiana Jones coming up next. And in the third-party camp, it should not be forgotten that some of their most profitable games are now available everywhere, including Minecraft, Call of Duty, and most recently Sea of Thieves has been a #1 seller on PlayStation 5, standing next to games like Elden Ring and Sony's own Destiny 2 as the most pre-ordered for weeks now. Xbox's decision to release their games on competing platforms will either go down as a terrible decision for the company or a sign that they were way ahead of the curve. I forgot to write a conclusion for this, but at the end of the day, I do think Phil Spencer has done a lot of good. Gaz on Daily had a conversation with me over on Twitter where he's like, we got to stop giving them credit for things they did 10 years ago. It's not things they did 10 years ago. Look at what they've done in 10 years. That's what I keep landing on. They have done a lot of positive things for the industry, and they are constantly met with negativity for everything. I think when the Xbox Series X launched, they got a lot of positivity about backwards compatibility. They got a lot of positivity about Game Pass. And I don't know what happened. There is a lot of cynicism around everything else they've done since. Steve says the Series S is pro-consumer, but bad for progress. I think developers needing to make their games so they run on the Series S is fine. And I say that because they can make it run on the Steam Deck. I do think Xbox needs to like loosen up a little bit with their restrictions, but I don't think the Series S is like a big overall negative for the brand. Oh yeah, we'll optimize for the Steam Deck, but the Series S, there's only 30 million players on the Series S potentially. But we'll optimize for the Steam Deck. That argument just doesn't hold water for me. Something else is going on, you know? How many people bought consoles? I think Xbox at 27 million, 30 million. They're in that range, right? PlayStation did 50 so far. The Steam Deck is like 4 million. So how does it make sense to optimize for the Steam Deck, which is great, but not for the Series S? That makes no sense to me. Oh, well, it's only like 30 million potential customers. Oh, but the Series S is really cool. If you can optimize for a Steam Deck, you can optimize for a Series S. So that argument, I'm sorry, devs, but like, really? That's the argument? That's what you're going with? It's the only thing I will say is Xbox must have some sort of parity thing, or like it has like hit a bar and devs are just like, come on, dude, this thing has less RAM than the Steam Deck. At some point, Microsoft needs to loosen it up a little bit. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. If you have watched this far, I do appreciate you. I really appreciate the members, and I'm going to have to add a whole bunch of new members because 10 memberships were gifted today. Thank you so much to all of the members. If you want to become a member the normal way, you can click that join button right down there. I'm going to get out of here, but check out my opinion piece right here, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.